Hi guys. So I want to speak to you about the auto-contractile pain response, or rather, I just call it the auto-contractile response, but it is a reflex of pain. There's been a number of reasons why I've been wanting to talk about this, and it feels like a good segue. I feel quite apprehensive about speaking about it. So the auto-contractile response, it connects to a subtlety in the body. It's part of the body's automatic way of protecting against sharp objects, things that are associated with pain, right? And it's designed in such a way that things constrict to protect further damage. And there was work from a man called Richard Pavek, who was the founder of a process called SHEN therapy, and that stands for specific human energy nexus, so SHEN. And he discovered that the auto-contractile pain response was tied not only to physical pain but also emotional pain. And so within this therapeutic practice, that response in itself is the biggest challenge. I have a little baby cow, right? Sorry for the distract, right? But I have a little baby cow who's very, very adventurous, and he's itching to have a little gander at me, and I'll just show you a wee picture, right? Oh, maybe I can't. But there's a little wee baby cow over there, munching on the trees, just getting a wee bit close, you know. I was like, this is my spot, leave me alone. So I'm a bit wary, considering that there's a field of cows on the other side, and I don't want a herd to chase me down and trample me. So this response is something that can get trapped in the body. Now, I've not read the book, but I keep hearing about this book called The Body Keeps the Score. And people mention it to me, you've got to read it. And I intend to read it. Although I just know in my heart and my core that I already know what that book is saying. And so in the energetic system of the body, you have a thing called the biofield. And in other analogies, people call it the aura. It's the field that you have around your body. It's energetic, right? And that has a series of flows that are just always happening. Everyone has it. It's just all going. Everything's always interacting, right? And this auto-contractile response is a reaction to pain. And when you start to take that back into time, and that, I also know, and please excuse the dyslexic mind as a kind of like touch on the edges of all these different forms of topics. Is that constrictal response has a symbiotic relationship with the amygdala, which is the aspect of the brain that holds fear or engages fear. Maybe some people can clarify that for me. These two entities have a symbiotic relationship, like they are tied. Now what's different, right, about the auto-constrictal response or the reflex is that when that's listening to something that is fear-based, like you're in default pattern, like you're in a default response mode, your body responds to it in the same way. And that's either like a clamp around like the heart or the solar plexus or the calf or your root or your throat. Like when we discuss like if we have a breakup, like we'll say we're heartbroken, right? Because we feel that pain in our heart, like that's in our body. We didn't feel it in our brain. Like that's not how emotions are processed. Like we feel it in our body, we hold it in our body, like so. And we spend so much time interpreting what we're feeling rather than just feeling it. And that's like and that's a habit. It's a real habit, and I think there's also a real lack of understanding or a conditioning that relates to like uncomfortable feelings. Like we naturally, like, and it's obvious, right? We don't want to stay in grief. That's a shit show. Like it's like we don't want to be consistently angry because it doesn't feel good, and that makes sense, right? But there is a key difference to if that is being held in the body and there's something that has happened in the past and your constrictive response is tightening around you, then that is going to have a perpetual impact on you over time, especially if that constrictive response has been lodged in a time when you were younger. And the body doesn't have a concept of time either. Like, or rather, that constrictal response doesn't have a concept of time. Like, there's sensations or feelings. Now I'm watching the bigger cows begin to walk over, and so that's a bit disconcerting because I didn't want an army of them showing up. So that's the big coup going moo. Hmm. Hmm. And so these constrictions, right, can happen in different locations in the body, and they create they clamping in. And if you were to speak like around your body, like when center points, like so here is like there's the chest, there's like my heart, and there's a center point here, like an energetic center point, and there's a donut that goes around that. And so you have lots of these center points and then lots of these donuts. And like when there's something that's constricting, that tightens everything up. So it's like the best way I could describe it, it's like a jumper. It does this. And that pulls on your body, like from a, like, and it starts out subtle, right? But left over years, like it will pull your body in. So it pulls the shoulders in. Like there's like lots of people like complain of like really sore lower backs. Like when I hear people say sore lower backs these days, like I just know that they're holding on to something that it, like in the body, that's connected to an auto-contractile response, which is protecting against something that is hurting or hurt, and you don't want to experience it again. It's perfectly natural. The challenge is, right, is that when you are unaware that this constrictive response is in play, and playing out a catalyst to your mind, where your mind is going, there's something wrong, and you're like rolling, like constantly trying to do or try to fix or find someone to fix these things. Whom doesn't have the awareness that that constrictive response is active and is not what's the word, like got the presence to like be present with the sharpness, the constriction, and to allow the constriction to get tight, and to work with to support that constriction to relax without escaping it, is also where the healing happens. Like, and I'm a bit cautious of that word healing. Like I'm cautious of that word because it's like it leads people on a funny trajectory. Like it's a simple thing. Like it's like something's constricting. It's going. It's no right. Your body's protecting against it. Things have got tight, and then you've got then you've also got the opposite that's available to you. You can also relax. And what a lot of people define as healing is like it's the relaxing into that constrictal response that allows emotions to release, or that is wanting to come to the surface, wanting to move through you, wanting to come out. Like, but it's that constriction that goes and it's like and it clamps it in, and so then the feeling, the emotions don't have the place to move to show face, or to work their course. And then there's lots of things around like safety and trust associated with that too. Vulnerability, like huge amounts of vulnerability that comes up with things like that. Like it's a sensitive place, because like when you're processing that stuff, right, when you're allowing yourself to touch those areas, and like, by the way, this place, it's like sacred, like it's fucking sacred. Like it dictates it like the constrictions shape paradigms, belief structures, your perceptions, your views on the world. Like, I would go far as to say is like these constrictions sit underneath. Like if you were to have layers, right, I would say like the auto-constrictal response sits underneath belief structures, i.e. belief structures are stacked on top of that auto-constrictal response. And beliefs, and also belief structures can also cause pain. Like, they're painful beliefs. Like, because you can have 2 or 3 different beliefs that are all conflicting with one another. That's confusing as fuck. And when your body's in that constrictal place, there is a call for surrender. You're being called into surrender. For men, like, we suck at it. Like, we do suck at it. But I think that is related more so because there isn't the awareness or the knowledge of these the structure, like, of how our body is wired. It takes a lot. There's a lot of presence that comes when you're listening to like pain, like particularly like in a somatic sense. Because it really it also connects you to your values. And I suppose this is where I suppose this is where I would like bring in my own view, I suppose, or maybe it's an opinion, I'm not sure. But we're all, I feel like we're all born into something. Like, And there's a quality of getting to know yourself, to know what that is like. It's like your presence, your transmission, your like, it extends beyond like identity. And when you're in this like form of, when you're meeting these places of sacredness where you go and you touch, and by the way, like, I really have to name that when you're in a field or a container of people that reflect the same quality of nurture and care, for the journey that you're willing to go to meet those places, the experiences that can be had are nothing short of like beauty. It touches you in a way that's that leaves you without words. And like to try to explain those things, it doesn't give any form of service. It's like the mystery. And like once you experience a form like that, it changes your life, like, definitely. It really does. Like, it gives you a taste of like, wow, like there is magic out there, you know. So maybe I share a little bit about, I suppose, in my response to where I'm at with that form of auto-construction, right? Is that when I first started out, and this started about maybe 10 odd years ago now, and it's like, it was like noticing this like little lump in my throat, and was like, what the fuck is this thing? And I had like an intuitive sense. I was just like, I knew it was energetic, you know. It wasn't a doctor thing. I just knew that. It wasn't like, oh, something like I feel ill with something, but it was like this constant like knot, tightness in the throat, and it was like uncomfortable. And I had a big experience of love, right, quite early on in my life, and it cracked my world open, and then I was left with this like knot, and it was like, right, how do I get into that? What is that? And so with time, like, I ended up exploring many modalities, and one of those modalities that I landed with and then worked with a practitioner for a long time, and then I learned to practice too. But I spent many years receiving, was in SHEN therapy. And it's a body-based practice. And what I found with that work was I couldn't feel fucking anything. like my whole body was numb. Like the only thing I felt was this like knot in my throat. And it was like a balloon. It was like it was ballooned. It was like nothing would move past the throat. And I would also, my mind was so sharp, like I could forecast anything. I could make a decision, and I could go, well, that would turn into this, and that would turn into that, and that would turn into this. I could forecast all of it, but that was from a place of being stagnant. And it was like making decisions was difficult. It still is challenging for me to make decisions. It also relates to like responsibility, or a sense of responsibility. And so with the years, right, well, I've had some powerful experiences of release, experiences and sensations of grieving, like a need for belonging. And that coming out, like, I'm feeling the relaxation that just like melt into my body, and feeling my shoulders drop like 5 inches. And what comes with that is like your like the mechanisms, like your views on life, the ways you perceive stuff, like what you've had to move through in life, and the skills you've acquired through that pathway of stuff that you've navigated. There's a lot of unique, amazing tools. And when you like meet that constrictal response, you meet it with curiosity, and I'll share another video on curiosity soon. Your body, you thoughts no longer, your body no longer, that constrictal response, it no longer activates to like particular styles of thoughts, like whether they're external or internal, like or external circumstances being spoken to you, or internal experiences, how you relate to the world. Like that constrictal response does not like activate, because there's no pain there, because you've felt it, you've let it run its course. And so you're like, oh, I don't need to act that way, or I don't need to move that way. It's not even a case of need or want, it's just like it doesn't happen. And you're just kind of left a bit bewildered, going, fuck me, I've got all this spaciousness, what is that? It's like a powerhouse move. Like it's a powerhouse move. If you're seeking freedom, like meeting those places is power. And that's not like power over or anything like that. It's not like that. It's self-trust. And it also magnetizes you. People see things in you. And they can't name it. They don't know how to name it. Or people will come up like, I recognize you. What is that? And so if you're not aware, like I'm launching a business called Elder Studios. It's an immersive audio platform. It's like for live format. It's based around object-based mixing, which is connected to my industry, the events industry that I've served in for 12 years. And I really, really want to explore this quality of work that I've talked about here. Meeting people's almost being like a chauffeur for people to journey to these places, and if you choose, there's like also no pressure, right? But I'm very curious what happens when people come together and meet these places together, hold space for one another together, and what happens to creativity? Like the expression, the form, like what matures out of those places of innocence. And I want to pioneer the fuck out of object-based mixing technology. For anyone that knows me, right? I want to pioneer the fuck out of that. And meeting these places that I'm talking about here is a pathway to that. It allows for new content, like new forms of content, and not only that, but like that presence, that maturing into, coming from those places. It's a field, and like any form of field, like it has like gravitas. And then when you feel into that from a place of performance and audience, then there's a way of giving the wink, giving the nod, giving the experiential taste to the people that may not know how to journey to those places. And you give like a visceral like wink, like who knows how that can touch people's lives. And for me, I find that really fucking exciting. Like I felt like it fills me with joy thinking about that. Like how to engineer that. Like that's, yeah. I think it's gold, man. I think it's absolute gold. Yeah. Thanks for listening. If you liked you like this video, drop me a subscribe and a like. That would help a lot. It also helps me find out who my audience is too. Drop us a shout if you want to work with me. If you want to receive some body work, I'm also available for that too. But just generally curious to know who's out there. Much love. Ciao.